No.
All right, so this is a continuation of week 5 Thursday, quarter 3 math 7. It's going to be on slopes. All right, so I'm going to continue with number 7, 8, and then so on and so forth. So I don't know what's happening here. Why is my pen not working? There we go. Okay, so looking at this one right here, the two easiest points probably, I'm assuming if they have like this right here, you see that right there? It's saying -2, 2, -2, 5. Do you see that? And saying -1, 4, -1, 5. Do you see that? I think that's what it's. I don't really know. She should have like 0, 6, 0, 5. So I suggest you grab the markers and just draw little arrows there so that way she sees it. And because that's what you're going to be doing to show the slope. I know, I'm not quite sure how she managed to do that, but whatever. All right, so the 2 points let's use is 0, 5, and then 1, 5. You see the 2 points we're using right there? Okay, so if you use a different point, it should be the same. So you're going to have 5 minus 5 over 1 minus 0. So it's 0 over 1. So this is actually none or undefined. Oh, actually, no, it's 0. Just kidding. Because the 0 is in the numerator. So it's just 0. Your slope is 0. So then when we find the b, let's go ahead and use 0 and 5. So your equation is 5 equals 0 times 0 plus b. Your b is just going to be 5. So your equation is y equals 0x plus 5. So just y equals 5. If you think about that, y equals 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's just a horizontal line, right? So whenever you have a horizontal line, you know the slope is 0, correct? So this is just y equals 5. All right, let's go on to number 8. So for number 8, I'm going to use 1, 2, and 3, and 3. Those are easy questions. So your slope is going to be 3 minus 2, 3 minus 1. So it's 1 over 1. So your slope is just 1. Equation, I'm going to use 1 and 2. So 2 equals 1 times 1 plus b. b equals 1. And your equation for this is just 1 equals x plus 1. If you need me to pause so you can make corrections, let me know.
Yeah, both of those questions.
Wrong? Okay, so then I'm gonna pause this and
7, I got 6.
it absolutely has to be like here, the 5, subtract the 5. Do you see that? 1, subtract the 0. You can't go the other way around. Do you understand? You can't do 3 minus 2 and then 1 minus 3 on the bottom. It doesn't go that way. Do you see it's two different directions? So I want you to circle those two and then make it correct it later because I'm gonna move on to the next part. Circle those two. Number 7 and 8. All right, moving on to number 9. Number 9, 0, 5, and 2 and 0. Those are good points to use. So once again, 0 minus 5, 2 minus 0 is a -5 over 2. That is your slope. Your equation, I'm going to use 0 and 5, is 5 is equal to 5 over 2 times 0 plus b. Now, you know that part cancels, and so 5 equals b. So your overall equation is y is equal to -5 over 2x plus 5. That is your equation for number 9. If you got it right, leave it alone. If it's wrong, circle it. Number 10, again, you can pick whatever points you want to use. I'm going to use points that have small numbers. So when I find the slope, it's -2 minus 2, 1 minus -1. You have to be careful of the double negatives, okay? So -2 minus 2 is a -4. 1 minus -1 is a +2. Do you see that? So your slope is a -2. That is your slope. B, I'm going to use this point right here. So my equation is 2 is equal to -2 times -1 plus b. 2 equals 2 plus b. b equals 0. So that is your y-intercept. Now, for your equation, y is equal to negative 2x plus 0. So I just negative 2x. You don't need to put a plus. That's it. Okay? I'm going to have you. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So for number 11, I'm going to use those 2 points. And what you should have here is going to be, remember, when you do this, it's 6 minus 6, 2 minus 0. The y goes on top. So it's 0 over 2. So your slope is 0. Do you see that? I'm going to go ahead and use the 0 and 6. So my equation is 6 is equal to 0 times 0 plus b. Your b is 6. Your equation is y is equal to 0x, or it's just a b equals 6. Oh my gosh, you're so sad. All right. Next one, 5, 2, 5, 4. So let's go ahead and do this. So again, 4 minus 2, 5 minus 5. So this one, you gotta be careful. 4 minus 2, 5 minus 5. What do you have from the bottom? So it's gonna be undefined. That's your slope. Okay. And remember, undefined slope is just gonna be x equals 5. That is your equation. Do you see that? For your b, if I were to use this point right there, I would do y equals, it's undefined slope, right? Equals, well, just won't be, it's just x equals 5. That's the equation. Your b is none, not 0, because it's not going to be drawing at 0, because x equals 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's going to be a vertical line, right? B equals none, not 0. A lot of people put 0. 0 implies it's going through the 0, and it's not. Okay. All right. Well, that concludes that. Okay, we're moving on to the next part. I'm actually going to go to the back part of this because you didn't do anything in the back part. So this is going to be for week 5 through Friday. Quarter 3, math 7. Okay. All right. The first one, I'm going to have you do on your own. I think, okay, so let's just do this one. This is y-intercept, right? Make a table and a graph. So with this one, all you do is you pick some points. I always like to do, I like to pick -1, 0, 1, 2. So you have positive and negatives, right? Whatever, that's fine. So if you plug this in here, you have y is equal to 3 times -1 minus 4, which is a -7. When you plug in 0, it's a -4, 1, -1, 2, positive 2. Do you see that?
Yeah.
These are your points, right?
Yes.
You can plot these points. Remember, these points are like -1, comma, -7, 0, comma, -4, etc. Right? Next part, where you're doing the x and y intercept. Okay, if you're looking for the x-intercept, y equals 0, right?
Yeah.
Put a 0 right there. So if y is equal to 0, you just cover the y. So you cover the y like this, correct? And so it's 0 equals 3x minus 4. Solve for x, it's 4/3. That right there is going to be your x-intercept, right?
Yeah.
That's a point. Okay. Now let's find the y-intercept. If you're looking for the y-intercept, put the x equals 0, right? Go back to your equation, just cover the x, y equals -4. There's your second point. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, slope. Well, look over here. Slope is going to be y equals mx plus b. That's your slope. And that's going to be 3. Not 3x, just 3. You just put 3 over 1 because slopes generally isn't a fraction. Rise over 1, right? It's going to be the change of y, which is rise, over the change of x, which is run, like you're running over. Y-intercept is -4. So if I were to graph this, go down 1, 2, 3, 4. You go up 1, 2, 3 over 1. 1, 2, 3 over 1. 1, 2, 3 over 1. You see that?
Yeah.
And then what I also want you to do is I want you to plot these points. Plot these 4 points. And I also want you to plot the x, y intercept. Okay, so these 6 points should be on this red line. Because if it's not on this red line, then you did something wrong. Does that make sense? Because we graphed it correctly. So all of these points, the 4 here and the 2 here, so 4 plus 4 is 6, should be on here. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
This right here is y-intercept form. Do you see that?
Yes.
This one is not. What is this form called?
This one is called this standard form.
Standard form. Y-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so for this one, you could do -2, -1, 0, 1. I don't care. You could pick whatever points you want. Okay. But because this is standard form, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to solve because it's not in y-intercept form. So we have to solve for y, so that way you put it in that form, right? Because if you want to get the value for y here, you need to have it y equals. So when you solve for y, add the 8x, so 6y equals positive 8x plus 24, divided by 6 on both sides. Y equals 8 divided by 6 is reduced to 4 over 3x. 24 divided by 6 is 4.
Oh, that's one.
Good. So then let's plug in the numbers. If you have a -2, you're going to have -4 times -2, which is a -8 over 3, plus 4. Make that a 3, make that a 12. You should have a 4 over 3, which is going to be like 1.25. Or not, it's going to be 1 point something. Okay? 1.3. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Hey, you need to do this on a separate piece of paper because you don't have enough space. When x is -1, you plug it in here. Y equals -4 over 3 plus 4 over 1. If I make that a 4, this becomes a 16. So that becomes a 12 over, whoops, I screwed this up. Hold on. I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah, I should not.
What was that? 8 over 3. You're gonna get smacked. 0, this will be easy. 0 is just 4. If it's a 1, y equals 4 over 3 plus 4 over 1. 3, that's a 12, which is a 16 over 3. To graph and plot the 4 points, you're going to put them in decimals. Does that make sense? Okay, we'll divide them. All right, so then the x, y intercept. Remember, you put a 0 here, put a 0 there, right? When y is 0, you look at your equation. For this one, you don't need to use this equation. You can go back to this one here. That's fine. Okay? So when y is equal to 0, you cover that up. You get a -8x equals 24. 24 divided by -8 is a -3. Do you see that? There's your point for your x-intercept. When x is 0, you go back over to the standard form. You cover up the x. You have 6y equals 24. 24 divided by 6 is 4. You see that? Slope. Well, you found the slope. It's 4/3. There's no x. Okay, it needs to be in a fraction, right? Just 4. Y-intercept is not 24. It's just 4. So if I graph this, start at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Use your pens. Up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, 2, 3. Running out of space, go down 1, 2, 3, 4 over left 1, 2, 3. Down 1, 2, 3, 4 left 1, 2, 3. And then you connect your dots. And that's your equation. Do you understand that? Good.